When I went to college, I basically went to my school because of a studying abroad experience where you got to go to the Bahamas for a month and take some courses as part of your marine biology minor. It's pretty much the reason I went, and there was no way I was going to miss it. So when it came about, I got some extra loans and I went down and did it, and it was a very awesome experience. But to open up this month-long experience, they sat us all down and they said, there are a lot of cool things in the ocean. There's things like sea turtles and whales and dolphins and big sharks and all sorts of crazy big megafauna, things that you really think about when you go to a zoo or the ocean or the wild or whatever. You don't really think about the small things like the insects or the starfish or what have you. They were like, these megafauna are really cool, and there's a good chance you won't see any of them because there's only so many per specific area, you know. I mean, you're not exactly going to see too many whale sharks or too many great whites under like a small location because they're big animals, they're big predators, they need a lot of space. So, you know, we nod our heads, we're like, okay, we won't get disappointed if we don't see any of these things. And I think our first time we swam or snorkeled, we went to this place called the Dump. It was just the dump, because at one point it was a dump, and this was just one of the dumps for this small island in San Salvador in the Bahamas. So there was a bunch of algae and all that, but it was a good place to start, because the other things would have been cooler. We were staying there a month, so you may as well check out everything. But I'll tell you what, we went to this dump, and what is one of the first things we see? A freaking nurse shark. I'm not talking like nurse shark, I'm talking like, yeah, big freaking nurse shark. Probably as big as the ones I had seen at SeaWorld San Antonio. It really felt like that because it was not down too deep in the water. We're talking like maybe 10 feet of water. Some people are like, oh, I don't really want to swim with that. I'm just like following it at the surface the whole time, like, yep, that's a nurse shark. I'm going to follow it because I figure it's not that dangerous, right? It's a nurse shark. At least its mouth's down here. It's not going to bug me. Swimming around and totally following that. And I just thought it was funny. That's like one of the first times we snorkel, we see a freaking shark. It was like that throughout the entirety of the trip. We just kept seeing all the things that they said we weren't going to see. I mean, pretty soon after that, we saw our first sea turtle, and that was really cool. We saw a bunch of those. We went and saw, I think we even saw a dolphin jump out of the water at one point. I saw some squid and tried to race them at one point. Saw the various lobster that they had down there, and pretty much every like cool thing we could see outside of, I think, a whale we saw. So it was pretty sweet. But there were quite a few other shark experiences on this adventure in the Bahamas, and I'll tell you a little bit more about them later in the week. That was just the first one. I hope you like the other stories too.